truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please take a seat at the witness stand there. And please adjust the microphone and state and spell your name for the record.
We are Elizabeth Martin Brown.
Can you allow me to raise up your voice?
Sorry, we are Elizabeth Martin Brown.
Please spell your name for us.
LEAHELIZABETH.
Thank you. And so Brown, common spelling?
MARTIN-Brown, common spelling.
Thank you. All right. Good morning, Mrs. Martin Brown. Are you, as you sit here right now, are you nervous?
Yes.
Have you ever testified before?
No.
This is an uncomfortable feeling.
Yes.
All right. I'll get through it quickly. On Saturday, November 6th of 2021, were you living, or were you in an apartment at 1600 Vine Street in Hollywood?
Yes.
I'm going to show
Is she an aspiring actress, maybe?
you.
Everybody in Hollywood is an aspiring actor. Is this the Australian chick?
There is something that was up there that should work. All songs. If you don't mind, can I reach over and see if I can turn this on? There you go. What exhibit are you showing? This is People's Exhibit 1, Your Honor. Yeah. Ms. Martin Brown showing you what I marked as People's Exhibit 1. I'm going to direct your attention towards the bottom. Do you recognize the area that's depicted in that map?
Yes.
And is the apartment that you were at that evening depicted on this map?
Yes.
Can you point to it for us on the screen behind you? And there should be a stick. Okay. All right, and so she's pointing to the northwest corner of Argyle and Selma. The apartment that you were in that evening, did it have either an exterior facing window or a patio area?
Both.
And what street did those windows look out on?
Argyle and then also Selma.
So from
Yeah,
the
she's
window,
Australian.
you could see the corner of Argyle and Selma?
I could see pretty much all of Argyle and then up until like somewhere in the back of Davy Wayne's, which is a club along there.
Where would Davy Wayne's be?
Around here-ish.
Okay, so you're pointing all the way to the corner of El Centro and Selma, correct?
Yeah.
Was the apartment that you were in, what floor was that on?
The 7th, it was part of 701.
Okay. So from the 7th floor, you're up high enough that you can see over the buildings there at the northeast corner of Argyle and Selma, correct?
Sorry. Please modulate a little bit. Okay. The people's position is it's foundational. About the last question. So, repeat the last question. Please.
Okay, so from the 7th floor, you're up high enough that you can see over the buildings that are at the northeast corner of Argyle and Selma.
Sustain.
Okay. If I could mark my next exhibit, Your Honor.
6.
Book 6. One page document with a single photograph. Here's the depict the corner of Argyle and Selma. Showing you what I just marked as People 6. Do you recognize that street corner?
Yes.
And do you see the building that you were living in this photograph?
Yes.
Can you point to it for us? Right. I'm going to zoom in. You're pointing to the building on the far left of the screen. If I can. All right. The apartment that you were living in that building, was it?
I'm pointing to the exact balcony.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. This here.
How do you want to describe that? So I would say in the photograph, there are a number of. Let's see.
Why don't you bring it up to her, sir?
Can do that.
And then put it on the projector.
That's good. Let's circle it. Now, so you don't want to do the Sharpie. Sharpie with the ball.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Putting people 6 back up. The black mark that you made here is the exact document you're talking about, correct?
Correct.
Now, it appears that directly across the street from the building that you were living in, there's a number of buildings on this corner of our island, correct?
Correct.
From your vantage point, could you see over those buildings?
Yes.
Taking you back to People's One, you said you were able to see all the way to Selma and El Centro?
Yes.
That
Hey, look at that. There's Sean gifted a membership. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Went to Patty B. Now, Patty, I think you've been a member before. So now you have access to members-only content, to your own emojis here at YouTube's, and also access to the Discord. Thank you so much, LeSean. Thank you so much.
night, so November 6, 2021, at approximately 10:18 p.m., did you call 911?
Yes.
Why did you call 911 that night?
I thought someone had been hurt and I wanted to make sure an ambulance came.
How was it that you thought someone had been hurt?
I saw an altercation and it appeared that there may have been a gun involved. So I thought if someone was hurt, I didn't want them to die, if that had been the case. But again, I was on the 7th floor. So.
How many people were involved in the altercation that you're talking about?
3.
Where was the first place that you saw those 3 people, if you remember?
Walking down Argyle.
When you say walking down Argyle, what street were they walking towards?
Selma.
And how far up Argyle, so away from Selma, did you see them? Was there some point of reference that you have?
The parking garage that leads into the El Centro apartments.
Okay. It might be difficult to see here on People's 6, but do you see the entrance to the parking garage in this photograph?
Sort of.
Where is it that you sort of see that?
It was a little further up here.
Okay. There's a red.
Indicating on the right-hand side of the photo, halfway up after the first set of cars on the right-hand side of the street.
There's a red sign here that we can see that's vertical. Do you know, does that sign say, if you could read the full thing, does it say parking?
I believe it does, yes.
And would that essentially be the entrance to the parking lot?
Yes.
Maybe a little past that?
It was a little further up that. But
Okay.
yes.
Thank you. What was the first thing that you observed between the interaction of those people that you described?
Again, it was like, I was on the 7th floor balcony. It appeared that they were arguing and they kind of ducked under the parking structure roof and there was like some loud yelling and then they appeared to be fine but went around the corner into the back parking lot and then that's where it appeared that there was another kind of issue and there appeared to be like they allegedly a gun drawn and someone appeared to.
How did she saw that from that distance? Allegedly a gun drawn? Did you have a meeting with the prosecution who told you this?
Okay, I want to start at the parking garage. You said you saw these 3 people arguing outside of the garage. Did you see a firearm at all while they were outside of the garage?
I was on the 7th floor.
I understand your perspective. From the 7th floor, did you see anything that
Not at that
resembled?
time.
Okay. So the only thing that you observed from the area right in front of the parking garage was arguing? Is that what you're saying?
They seemed to go sort of underneath the roof. There may have been like something physical, but it was obscured by predominantly it was obscured by the roof.
Did you see any physical contact between those men?
Very briefly before underneath, but again, I don't want to speak on that any further.
Thank you. And I'm not asking you to speculate on anything that you're saying happened when you couldn't see them, but from the point that you could see them, what physical contact was it that you saw?
Someone appeared to grab someone.
Were there any, where on the person who was grabbed, where on their body were they grabbed?
I'm not sure, I was too far away.
Did you see any punches thrown or anything like that?
Like it was, I said what I saw.
Okay.
Don't really.
Thank you. You saw one person grab, and then they,
And then they kind of went underneath it, like there's like a roof thing that just do things.
all right, fair to say while they were under this roof or overhang, you couldn't see them, correct?
Correct.
When you next saw any of the individuals involved in that scuffle, where was that person going?
The three of them appeared to, again, I couldn't identify who was who, they just all looked like equal to me. I just saw them all in a group walking towards Selma.
Were all three of them bunched together, or was there any separation between the three of them?
I can't really accurately recall.
Okay. As you saw them walking towards Selma, could you hear anything that was happening between them?
No.
Did you hear even any raised voices, even if you couldn't make out exactly what was said?
Prior to that, yes, but at that stage, no.
When you say prior to, do you mean at the parking garage?
Yeah.
Okay. So you heard arguing at the parking garage, but you didn't hear any arguing as they went down our back?
No.
When these three were, did it appear to you that they were all men?
It did appear that they were all men.
Okay. Is there anything else distinct about them that you could describe?
No. One was wearing a black hoodie, but again, it was a long time ago. I don't know if that would be an accurate recollection.
Okay. When they, could you even tell the race of these people?
It was dark. I don't know.
Okay. So when these three men got to the corner of Argyle and Selma, where did you see them go?
I saw them turn, from my perspective, left, and then into it's kind of like a parking lot behind these buildings.
Okay. I still have people 6 displayed up on the screen here. Can you see the direction that they went in this photograph?
Yes.
And where would, if you could take the pointer, just kind of show us where they walked down Argyle and which way they went down Selma. Okay. So, Your Honor, I would say she's describing walking southbound on Argyle towards Selma on the east side of the street, and then making a left turn and staying on the north sidewalk of Selma, headed eastbound. So you were describing them walking past this building out of view, correct?
They went out of view for me.
My apologies, that was not a great question. It would have been off of this
Yes.
photograph. So if I take you back to People's One, what you described was them walking south on Argyle, making a left on Selma, and continuing on Selma, correct?
Yes, and turning into like a parking lot area.
And as they were walking on Selma, could you still see all three of the men that you were describing?
Yes.
Did you hear anything between them at that point while they were on Selma?
No.
Did you see any interactions between them while they were on Selma?
No.
You said they got all the way to the corner of Vista Del Mar, correct?
From my vantage point, it appeared that they went into the parking lot area. I'm not entirely sure what the street is called. I just know that it's behind the Central Apartments.
Okay. If it's marked here as Vista Del Mar, does that sound accurate to you?
If that's marked as that, then I suppose it's accurate.
Okay. And you know that there's a parking lot at that corner of
Yes.
Vista Del Mar and Selma?
Yes.
So you said what you described was they walked into the parking lot, correct?
Yes.
Where did you see them go from the parking lot?
I saw them in the parking lot, and then they had what appeared to be an altercation, and then everyone left.
Can you describe what you mean when you say they had an altercation?
Again, this was a long time ago. I can only speak on what I can remember. It appeared they had some kind of disagreement. There was what appeared to be like a firearm pulled. There appeared to be shots, and then people ran away.
The initial altercation that you're talking about, what was the first thing that you observed?
I can't recall.
Okay. The person that you observed with the gun, where was that person in relation to the two other people?
Closer to the El Centro Apartments than Selma.
See.
I just so you know, we're gonna break, before we take a break, now. All right, folks, we're going to break now. Please be outside the court doors at 1:30, so if that time is possible, we will resume with Ms. Martin Brown's testimony. Please do not discuss the case amongst yourselves or anybody else.
Let's skip the wonders of. Jesus Christ, that's a long break. All right, here we go again.
Evidence order. And I believe you said before lunch that the apartment you were in was closer, or farther away from Selma, so closer to this side of the building, correct?
Yes, correct.
Shayna Pettigrew, do you all think your credibility is high or low quality? Oh. Hey, Gwendolyn is back. Hey, Gwendolyn, you're not late. A Gwendolyn is never late nor early. A Gwendolyn always arrives right at the attended time.
7-story tile.
Yeah.
Now you had described looking out. Were you on the balcony or were you looking out the window?
Both. I started out on the balcony, and then as things progressed, went inside to the windows.
So at the point where you saw the men walking down Argyle after the parking garage altercation, were you inside or outside of the apartment?
Outside.
And then when the men turned onto Selma, were you still inside or outside of the apartment?
We moved inside.
Okay. So at the point where you described you saw the men arrive here at Selma and Vista Del Mar, you were inside of your apartment.
Correct.
And what is the first thing that you recall seeing when you saw the men arrive at that intersection?
They were in his parking lot, and I couldn't hear anything, but it appeared that there was some kind of, I don't really know how to describe it. You could just tell that the vibe changed, and then they appeared to argue, and then there appeared to be a gun pulled, and then 2 shots fired. It appeared that someone fell down. There were some cars, so I didn't see what happened to that person, which is why I called 911. And then people someone ran through the El Centro apartments, another scattered, and at that point is kind of why I called, because I didn't see the third person, so I was like, I hope they're okay.
Okay. Now, I'm going to kind of go step by step through what you just said. The first part of your statement that you said, the words you used were the vibe changed, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you described there being an altercation. Did you see any physical contact between any of the 3 men?
No, it appeared to me that they were maybe exchanging words.
Okay. The man with how many of the men did you see produce guns?
1.
And what, if anything, did you see that man do?
He appeared to be closer to the El Centro apartments, and it was more of like a jump back and pulled out a gun and then fired twice, or appeared to fire twice, and then everyone just walked through the people.
This is 4 years later. She was on the 7th floor of a building. She was, what was she? 150, 200 yards away. How can she say, unless somebody's actually doing this, how does she know who was branding the gun? This is a bit too convenient testimony, in my opinion.
That I could see dispersed very quickly.
Can you keep referencing the El Centro apartments?
Yes.
Is it possible for you to point the direction you're talking about on this exhibit where those apartments would be?
These ones here.
Okay. So the direction that you're talking about that person taking on the street, can you kind of show us with the pointer on this exhibit?
It happened inside a parking lot, so from this looks different to how it did when I lived there. So, but it appeared that they could access, like, ran through here towards Hollywood Boulevard.
So she lived up here somewhere and claims she saw, out of 3 people, she claims she saw who was branding a gun.
Generally, are you saying they're running away from Selma?
Yes.
Okay. And that the first person that you saw heading that direction was the man with the gun?
Yes. They kind of dispersed at the same time, and one went kind of through El Centro from what I could see, and the other went, it happened very fast.
Okay. You said it appeared that the man with the gun discharged the gun twice, were your words, correct?
Yes.
What about the situation made you believe that he had discharged it?
The sound?
Could you actually hear 2 gunshots?
Yes.
Okay. The same time that you saw that man with the gun doing that jumping motion that you talked about?
Yes.
Okay. With that, I'm going to mark my next exhibit, the DVD and transcript.
The TV this is the 911 call?
Yes.
Correct. That would be people's 8. And the transcript is 9. Do you have enough transcripts for everybody?
I believe I do. You're
Correct. Alex, do you distribute those? Yes. You up, Frank?
Here is in the mark transcript.
Yeah. The next one? Oh, I do.
Hey, T. Carrera, it's midnight, and have a happy Friday
Everybody's got a transcript?
or Saturday. Not always pass on it in the chat. Heyo! Skipping. Okay.
Yes.
And now we'll go to the 911 call.
There were 4 men, and they were kind of fighting as they were walking along Argyle, and then they turned left on Selma, so we heard yelling and they started running, and they turned left into the back lot apartments, for El Centro apartments, and someone pulled out, the guy in the black sweatshirt pulled out a gun, and he shot, and I think the guy who shot was wood.
So she had that already. So I retract my previous statement. She said that already in the 911 call. Okay.
The guy with the handgun, but he was black, they were all black. He was wearing black, he was wearing black, and black hoodie. I was on the 7th floor, so this is what I can see from here. No, they all ran away in different directions. 2 of them ran like towards the El Centro apartment. I think he went to the left. Yeah, 3 lanes towards Hollywood Boulevard.
Alright, but I really want to go to the you said I know which way you want to go. The direction to go either as far south, toward what
I think he might north.
Alright, okay.
I think he might north towards mine, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's where we kind of ran inside the zone.
Okay. And do you know if anyone injured, anyone found any medical assistance?
We're not sure. I saw someone go down, but they're still getting away. I'm not sure if they ran away.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what's your name?
My name is Leah.
Yeah, alright, and your phone number is that?
Yes.
Alright, and just to confirm from where you are, where you can't see any victims down, you can't see anything in any of the belongings at all?
No, I'm on the 7th floor, so this building is kind of blocked it.
Okay, alright, no problem, I'll go ahead and I'll get the information, and please, I'll go ahead and go, okay?
Alright, thank you.
All right, this is Martin Brown in the call. Have you ever heard that call before?
No.
Is that no?
That's no.
In the call, you described 4 men, correct?
Correct.
Fair to say that the day of this incident, as you're talking to the 911 operator, your memory was better because you were observing it?
Yes.
Okay. The only other question I want to ask you to clarify is, in the call, you said 3 of the men ran towards Hollywood Boulevard. And I put people's 1 back up on the screen. From the parking lot that you're describing, where would the men have gone to go to Hollywood Boulevard?
I assume up the middle of the apartments. This was a very long time ago.
Okay, that's fair. But I just mean generally, it would be from the parking lot here towards the top of the page, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did you? Did you actually see the police arrive after you called 911?
Yes.
Did you go down and speak to the police while they were there?
No, I said I didn't want to speak to them when they called me back.
Why was it that you didn't want to speak to the police officers?
Because I absolutely did not want to be involved. I was only calling in case someone was hurt.
I should ask too, the female voice that we hear on that call, do you recognize that to you?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions for you.
Mr. Stephanie?
Hi, good afternoon. This is Mark Brown. You and I have never spoken to each other, right?
We have not.
In fact, yesterday, you refused to speak with the investigator who was attacked, correct?
Correct.
All right. People's Exhibit number 7, which is right behind you. Where's your balcony in that picture there? Can you see it from there?
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit sure. All right. You know what? Yeah, that's. That's all right. Just before you start like this.
Which exhibit is that?
7 people said. So you were up there when you observed what you described, correct?
Correct.
And you said the vibe changed at one point?
Yes.
You could tell from up there that it was the vibe shift?
Yeah, they seem to move further away from one another.
Okay. And where did the person you said the person went down, where did the person go down?
From
Take your point.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
From where my balcony is, as you can see, there are some buildings.
Yeah.
So most of what happened was in further towards the center of the car park where there were no cars. When someone went down, they went near the cars, and that obscured my view.
Show us at that point where all the stuff happened from you.
So in the middle here, and then towards this kind of wall where the cars are parked as well. That
So
kind of obscured a little bit at the end.
just remember, I focus on that one person. So it's your testimony that what you observed from your 7th floor balcony all occurred inside the car park.
The last part, yeah.
Okay, the part where there was the scuffling, the sound of the gun,
Yes,
and 2 people and someone going down.
yes,
That was inside the car park?
yes.
Closer to the back wall of the car park where that head is, that head over there?
No, it was kind of in this area from what I could observe. It appeared to be
This area, you want?
in the middle.
Middle of the car park?
Yes.
Just so the record's clear, first indicated what looks like a blue tent towards the back of the building. That's what counsel was asking about. The witness that indicated further up, it's going to be thin by a white pickup truck. Is that your counsel?
Yeah, sure. Okay. But that point,
Yeah.
point that you made. So around here, we're talking about what you saw from the balcony here.
Directly in the middle of the area, and then we could see the tail end of the parked cars when it occurred. So that's what obscured the end when someone fell.
So they weren't over here on the street, right?
Honestly, from that vantage point, it could have appeared that street was part of it, but I thought it occurred in the car park. But again, I was on a 7th floor balcony.
Okay. Aside from that, by the way, who's with you? I heard no voice.
My ex-partner and my old roommate.
2 other people.
Yes.
And what's their names?
Do I have Joachim Mahunge, and then another friend of mine who does not want to be identified.
Okay, what was the first one story?
Joachim Unge. He's Swedish.
Yeah, spelling likely for the record.
Joakim Unge.
That's one individual.
Yes.
And there was a second one.
Yes.
And the second one,
She does not wish to be identified.
she told you that.
Yes.
So why she doesn't wish to be identified?
Probably because she doesn't want to be doing what I'm doing
So
right
it's
now.
okay. By the way, we talked about it, and I heard on the 911 call, you said that there was a building that in part obstructed some of your view.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Did anything else interfere with your ability to perceive that night?
Potentially.
Potentially what?
It was a Saturday evening.
Okay, what else happened on that Saturday that potentially would have impaired your ability to perceive?
So we were watching movies, and I had a hit of a joint.
You had what?
I had a hit of a joint.
So, you would use, they're going in marijuana?
Yeah.
You use marijuana at like for observance, what you saw, right?
Very lightly.
Very lightly, okay.
Hey, Dolly.
Did you tell that to the police that night when they called you back?
No, I just said I didn't want to speak to
Nobody is surprised that Dolly shows up when there's a pretty girl on the witness stand. Nobody is surprised.
police.
Okay. And I think you said on the 911 call, we just heard it, so I want to be grateful, but the apartment you were at the time was up on the 7th floor, right? I had that right, 7th floor?
Yes.
Okay. And it was on the corner of Argyle and Selma?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's put up people's one, can I do that for me? Oh.
It looks like it's working on here. Is it? This is not fast charge. It's about speed on something.
We get more, yeah.
All right. Cross-examination, please. Or?
Okay, so that's, you still have 4 people, so that's a little further. So just straight now percent, that's people's one, correct? That's what you saw, it's Matt behind you, right, Miss Mark Brown?
Yes.
So, before hearing what you believe to be a gunshot or 2 gunshots, you saw people fighting in the street.
Having an altercation, yes.
Um,
But I did say that part of it was obscured by the top of
Altercation is not a layman term.
the car park's roof.
Matter of fact, what you just said on that 911 call was that there were 4 men, and they was kind of fighting as they were walking along Argyle, and then they turned them on the south, correct?
Yes, correct.
And that was at the time.
Yes, it had just happened.
Right, so your recollection obviously would have been much better. than
Yes, I have not, the first I've heard of this again was literally a week and a half ago, so you can excuse me for being a little shady on the
Oh,
details.
no, that's it's normal, right? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it's so much worries, right?
Yeah.
But, what you said back then, on that 911 call would have been accurate,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's your ability.
Yes,
Despite it, yeah. After you said those 4 men were kind of fighting, walking along Argyle, they turned left onto Selma. After that happened, you saw these people turn left onto Selma Avenue, right?
yes,
And at that time, you heard yelling, according to the 911 call, right?
okay,
And then you saw people starting to run, according to the 911, correct?
yes, correct.
And according to your 911 call, only after you heard the yelling and saw people start to run, you saw what you believe to be a gun, correct?
Correct.
And you told the police that after seeing someone pull out the gun, he shot.
Yes, correct.
And to be clear, that happened after the people turned left from Selma Avenue.
Correct.
Hold on. According to the prosecution, the gunfire happened before they ran. Didn't they? Huh.
And the street they turned left onto before you heard the shot was East Delmont.
I wasn't sure what the street name was, I just knew that there was like a car park there, but yes, according to that map, yes.
Assuming that matters, right?
Correct.
Right, okay. Obviously, from your central out, you didn't see a bullet or anything come out of that gun, right? You just heard a sound.
I saw flashes,
Okay.
but I heard shots, I saw flashes, but I obviously can't see from that.
Correct. And obviously, you didn't see anyone get hit. Particular, you thought you saw someone go down, right?
I saw someone go down, I didn't know if they'd been hit or not, and that's why I called 911.
And you didn't know, by the way, I think you said on the record today, your testimony today, again, I know it was several years later. It appeared someone may have had a gun involved, but you're not sure because you were on the 7th floor. You told saying that this morning, maybe the right testimony?
Was that when you were talking, when they were talking about underneath the parking structure? Or in the actual open? Because if we're talking about when there was the altercation on Argyle, then I couldn't have been sure because it was under a roof and I was on the 7th floor. But when it was in the car park, it appeared to be a gun. Because otherwise, why would it make noise and flash?
Okay. Now, your testimony that you saw someone going down with it.
Oh, I'm so
Your
sorry.
testimony that you saw someone go down.
Yes.
All right, important to you, You think the person who was shot was wearing blue clothing?
I said that in the 911 call. As of this moment, I do not recall.
Yes, I need to be with this walk around, right? No one suggested you should at your city today. Remember exactly what you saw back in November of 2020. I'm basing my question and your answer on your 911 call, okay?
Okay,
So what's in that 911 call is really what we should be relying on, right? Yes.
That's an official question.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, is there anything in your 911 call that was correct today?
No, there's not. I have been as accurate as possible with the time that has passed. I'm just here to give testimony and then leave, hopefully.
Yes, please. Anyway, going to your 911 call. You thought that person who was shot was wearing blue clothing, right?
According to my 911 call, yes.
And then you said people ran in different directions.
According to my 911 call, yes.
And you can't be sure, I guess, the direction you believe the person had a gun went, right?
According to the 911 call, yes.
Yeah, this is quite common with eyewitness testimony. It is unreliable, especially a few years later. What she said in the 911 call, even that, in my opinion, is not that much reliable. Yeah, sure, she saw a few black people. She saw something that she interpreted as a gun. And then she heard boom, boom. But the human brain is quite sneaky. It fills in what you don't actually see. There was a test in a university a number of years ago. Professor, lecturer, a bunch of people, students. And then in the middle of the lecture, there was a guy, he came in. He had a few minutes where he spoke to the students and then he walked out. Later, the professor asked the students, "That guy you just saw, what was he wearing?" And the answers were so incredibly different. Incredibly different. And they were looking at the guy talking for minutes. So yeah, eyewitness testimony is not as reliable as people think it is. In my opinion, it's good for exclusion, not inclusion.
At one point in the 911 call, you said you weren't sure if the people ran away, right?
Correct.
And then when did they call you back? Is that what happened?
They did call me back, yes.
Okay. And basically the officers at the scene at that point already?
I can't recall if the officers were already at the scene, but I do know that they were on their way.
Okay. And that's when the 911 operator asked if you reached the officers?
Yes.
And you declined?
Yes, correct.
All right, thank you. Walk around a little bit.
Thank you.
Mr. Zoll? No further questions. All right, Mr. Brown, thank you for coming in. You are excused. Next witness.